almost everyone who is not immune will get sick if they're exposed to it.
The number of cases of whooping cough that has popped up in our area and what everyone should do to make sure they don't get sick.
And strapped for cash, how much the cost of child care has risen over the past 3 decades and what some families are saying they're sacrificing to pay for it.
Live from WQAD, this is News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
Good morning and welcome. It is Tuesday, November 22nd. I'm Angie Sharp.
And I'm Jonathan Ketz. Thanks for joining us. We are wondering what the conditions are going to be for Thanksgiving and whether or not we're going to have any rain. And
especially heading into Thanksgiving with a lot of travelers hitting the roads. Eric?
Yeah, this is going to be a big story because we do have some rain that will develop across the area as we look through today. Don't think this is going to be too heavy, but it will stick around into tomorrow as well. Here's a look at the temperatures out the door as we head into a shortened work week for many of us, shortened school weeks. Kids standing out at the bus stop this morning, not shivering as much. 34 to 37 degrees, not much wind either. Here's a look at the storm tracker. We are watching a little bit of light snow pull north of Dubuque right now. We are not expecting any of that here for today. We will be stuck under these clouds. These clouds heavy enough to produce a shower, but not until after about 3 o'clock later on today. So rain showers begin today. They will wrap up before we get to Thanksgiving. We'll talk more about that and also for Black Friday shoppers for the weekend. Good stuff coming. More in a few minutes.
All right, Eric, thank you. One person was arrested yesterday in Muscatine after a house was intentionally set on fire. Happened around 4:30 Sunday afternoon at a home in the 4600 block of Condor Street. The fire marshal says the fire was quickly brought under control and the only person inside at the time made it out okay. Damage to the home was estimated at $10,000. Police had not released the name of the person arrested or the list of charges at this time. Well, now that we're seeing more cold weather in our area, the city of Moline is reviewing its game plan for when we start seeing snow.
It's going to be here before we know it. Right now, the city expects to have 7 new snow trucks for routes they deem to be the most dangerous for drivers in the winter. News 8's Lauren Simone is live in Moline with what's new in the snow plans and what people can expect to see when the snow finally falls. Lauren?
Yes, behind me is the 7,000 tons of salt used to be plowed around the city. And of course, they're going to use those trucks as they come in. They hope to get those by the end of the week, so the city is ready to go when the snow gets here. Now, those trucks will replace some trucks as old as 10 years old, and they'll be able to plow and pre-treat, and lay that salt. Now, normally the city needs about 5.5 thousand tons of salt, but because of last year's mild winter, the city only needed to buy those 2,000 tons of salt for this year. Now, as far as pre-treating goes, those trucks will be used in those hilly areas and for those main streets deemed a little bit dangerous around that time of year as well. And then those trucks will also, they're also going to be run on natural gas. This is something also that the city has never used before, so it'll also be saving the city on gas as well. Back to you guys.
Lauren, thank you. The city expects to get the new trucks by the end of this week. Well, Dennis Hastert is fighting to get one of his pensions back. Hastert is currently in prison for money laundering. The case involved payments to cover up his sexual abuse of boys from when he was a teacher. The teacher's retirement system terminated his pension, which is costing Hastert $222,000. He's challenging the decision by arguing that he was never charged with a crime that happened when he was teaching. The money laundering, he says, happened years later. There is now more fallout in the indictment of former Illinois Congressman Aaron Schock. A new report says the 35-year-old Republican pocketed thousands of dollars by arranging voter trips to Washington. One event in particular took place in July of 2014. The 3-day event had about 50 people fly out to Washington, D.C., paying almost $800, which would cover meals, transportation, and other hosting costs, on top of the thousands of dollars for plane tickets, hotel rooms, and other expenses. The report claims Schock kept at least $11,000 from that event.
The rising cost of childcare in the U.S. has some families in Iowa saying that they are strapped for cash. According to the census data, the average American family spends nearly $8,200 each year per kid in childcare. Compare that to the cost of tuition at the University of Iowa, for instance, which is roughly $8,500 per year. Average childcare rates have gone up 70% since 1985 with inflation. Some parents say those rising costs are forcing them to choose between work and family.
My husband and I work it out so that we're kind of on opposite shifts so that we don't go over our part-time daycare so that we can afford it.
A recent report from the Iowa Policy Project shows that help vanishes when a single parent earns more than $11 an hour at a full-time job, or about $17 an hour for two parents. Some families say they are giving up their jobs to stay at home with their kids to ease their financial issues.
An increase in whooping cough cases has the Rock Island County Health Department pushing for more vaccinations. There are now 10 confirmed cases in Rock Island County of this highly contagious infection. That's up from 3 from all of last year. Because the vaccine fades, adults are at risk of spreading whooping cough, even if they got the vaccine as a child. The health department recommends a booster vaccination for adults to avoid spreading the infection to babies.
It's important to note that the vaccination starts at 2 months. So there is a time where the infant is unprotected, and that's a very, very dangerous time.
In Scott County, whooping cough numbers are actually going the other direction. Last year they had 30 cases. This year they've had 7.
Galena, Illinois is a small town just north of the Quad Cities, but a recent scandal has many of its 3,000 residents talking. In May earlier this year, 57-year-old Brian Freed had stopped at a gas station when he was allegedly confronted by 52-year-old Jim Peters. No one really knows what led up to the confrontation, but a fistfight broke out. Freed fell and hit his head, and Peters took off. Freed was on life support for almost a week before his family let him go. Residents say Peters is the town bully with an aggressive past.
Mr. Peters decided that he would threaten me and tell me, he'd love to catch me around when there was nobody around so he could deliver some justice to me.
I had one incident where he came in one night and was giving this other guy a hard time, and literally, before I knew it, punches were being thrown and tables were tossed, and it's him.
Peters says he couldn't be a bully because of his size and his age, and explains that May night he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
There's audio, there's video. The guy attacked me. I didn't attack anybody. I was getting April ice cream cone. I mean, the guy was at the bar drinking for 4 hours.
A coroner's report did show Freed's alcohol limit was twice the legal limit at the time of his death, but his family says he wasn't a fighter or an aggressive person. The audio and video are not being released by prosecutors, and the witnesses aren't speaking. Right now, Peters is charged with involuntary manslaughter and aggravated battery and has asked for no jury, but for a judge to decide his fate. We want to thank everyone who came out yesterday to help us help local families.
It was all part of our 2nd annual Turkey Bowling fundraiser. Was that before that turkey thawed out? This was the scene outside of the Happy Joe's on 16th Street, Moline yesterday. For just $5, you got to bowl a frozen turkey twice with a chance to win a prize, and all proceeds going to the Riverbend Food Bank. We were able to raise $414 yesterday. The money will provide more than 2,000 meals for families in our area.
Well, with the holidays around the corner, we are wanting to celebrate all things holly and jolly. Plus, we need your help with it. Starting December 19th, we will be having fun with Holly Jolly Week right here on Good Morning Quad Cities. And one of the days we want to show off your decorations. So go to our website, WQAD.com, and to our contest page to sign up and submit your photos of your decorated house. The deadline for submissions is December 16th. You may be featured right here on Good Morning Quad Cities.
Now, your local traffic report, only on News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
It's time now for Total Travel. We check road conditions every 15 minutes here on Good Morning Quad Cities. Here's a live look at the Centennial Bridge over the mighty Mississippi. No problems to report so far this morning.
And still to come right here on Good Morning Quad Cities. After a bus accident killed 6 Tennessee kids yesterday, what the bus driver has now been charged with.
And what the man accused of killing a Texas police officer is saying why he committed such a heinous crime.
Thank you to viewer Cyber Wolf for saying I was laughing along with you guys this morning. She is our new viewer of the day. And coming up, we will talk more about when the rain showers will move back in, how long this is going to stick around. We're leading the way with accurate weather next. It's 6:39.
You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities with Jonathan Katz and Angie Sharp.